to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're very welcome here this morning. It is Wednesday the 5th of January 2022, and I'm sure I'll get that wrong the whole way through the podcast, but I just want to wish you a very happy new year. I hope that you had a very nice Christmas period or holiday period if you don't celebrate Christmas, and that you have a few minutes to spend here with me this morning. I'm coming to you as always from Devon in the southwest of England, where I live with my husband Nigel and two children, Eva and Samuel. And everyone's home today. My husband has a full day of Zoom meetings, and my kids are both still off school. So Samuel goes back tomorrow and Eva goes back on Friday. So I apologise now, and of course the dog is at home as well, so I apologise now if there's any interruptions or any background noise, but family life, isn't that right? So where can you find me? I am Ruth Loves to Knit podcast on Instagram. I am a Craftymadmidwife on Ravelry, and I have an email, and that's ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com. And please feel free, oh dear me, please feel free to use any of those modes to get in touch with me. As I was saying, maybe not Ravelry because I don't check it very often, but the other two, Instagram private messages and email, I will endeavour to get back to you straight away. And of course you can leave a comment below this video as well. I'm looking down my notes as always because, yeah, if you've been here before, you know I can go off of one, and I'll keep myself right with these notes. So, as I say, I hope you had a good Christmas, our holiday period. We had a very quiet Christmas. My parents at the very last minute decided not to come over with all the things that are going on in the world. And I got my booster 2 days before Christmas, so I was feeling pretty ropey on Christmas Day. But we still had a lovely time together. Santa still came, and yeah, it was just very quiet, which was lovely, really. I quite enjoy a quiet Christmas. And we just celebrated Jesus' birth here at home. My husband and daughter went to church on Christmas morning, but I was not feeling the best. But it lasted 24 hours and everything's back to normal now. So I'm already running away with myself. I was meant to podcast in the Crimbo Limbo week and it just didn't happen. I don't even know why, because we weren't busy, but it just didn't happen. And there were so many other people doing WIP roundups and stuff, so I don't think you really missed out on my little ramble. But a lot of you, actually, I was really surprised, messaged me to see if my mum liked her Christmas present. And if any of you have watched this podcast for a while now, you'll have remembered that I knit my mum the, hope I get this right, Ailey, the Reina de Picas tea by Valentina Bogdanova, which is Valentine Knits. And I'll put a wee picture up here of the sweater that I knit. I knit it in Snuggly, Serdar Snuggly Cashmere Merino Silk 4-ply. I think I got it on Destash or in a sale, and it was the colour my mum wanted, kind of like, it was called Puss in Boots, but it was kind of like a creamy goldy colour, and I'll put a wee picture up of my mum wearing it. And sorry, I didn't ask her permission, but she's embarrassed me plenty of times in my life, so I'll just put that up. And thank you so much for all the really gorgeous comments. I think it was the most commented photograph I've ever put on Instagram about how lovely my mum looks, how lovely my mum is, and she's thrilled with it. So she did stretch the neck out a wee bit more than I had. It's very hard to block something whenever you don't see the person, because I knit it, took it home for the fateful trip to Ireland in October, quickly tried it on, it's about the only thing we got to do before we had to come home again, and kept on knitting, and she's thrilled with it. So that was her, and she was very naughty and opened it before Christmas Day, but let's face it, she knew she was getting it anyway, so it was no big deal. So thank you for inquiring about that, and there's the photographic evidence that I shared with you there now. So that's that. Thank you very much. The other things are today, on this date, the 5th of January, is my 1 year Podiversary. And happy anniversary to me. Never in a million years did I think I'd be doing this. Never in a million years did I think I would keep doing this. But just want to thank you so much for all your support and all your love and all your encouragement through this past year. And if you watched my last podcast, I also hit the 2K subscriber mark. So I had a giveaway going on this channel, and 376 people, I think, commented on underneath my last video, and the tag or the prompt for the comments was, "Where are you from?" And oh my goodness, we live in a beautiful world. I've googled quite a few places that people have put on there, and you live and we live in such beautiful places. We're so blessed, and all over the world, from South Africa, Australia, America, here in the UK, in Europe, even one in Iceland and Canada, and I just can't thank you enough. So I had arranged a giveaway for that, but because it's my Podiversary, and I thought you can't be bothered, I'm sure, leaving another comment under this video, that I thought, seeing there were so many comments, I would just do both at the one time. And so if you commented on my last video, listen up. I did I closed it on at midnight on the 31st of December, and I have to admit I was already asleep, so it was I woke up and suddenly thought, oh, I forgot to do it, so I did it early hours of the next day, and 2 winners were picked by random generator, and the winners you will be able to see on the screen just to prove that I did it all legitimately. And the first one is for the 2K giveaway, and I'll just show you the what I wanted to give away again. Sorry, I've put it in a non-rustly bag this time. So I have 3 things for this wee giveaway, and I did say it was open worldwide. So this one is Woolly Adventures yarn, and as I said last time, this is dyed by a girl who just lives in the next town to where my parents live in Northern Ireland. Thought I would like to showcase a little bit of Northern Ireland, and it's just gorgeous, and it's 75 superwash merino nylon. It's called Gunmetal Flash. So that's one thing. Then as it's a sock set, I thought I would give away this Yarnworks. I don't want to say sock blocker because I don't think I would block my socks on this because of the wood, but it's a measurement, and it's got a needle gauge, it's got measurements, and then this moves. I tightened it a wee bit so that it wouldn't flop about, but this moves in and out, and then here's the sizes of your feet size. And then lastly, a beautiful bag from my lovely friend Jeanette of Craftycleggcreations. That's her old label. I noticed she's just got a new logo and a new label. I think that's perfect. So I hope the recipient of this prize will be really pleased with it. And the winner of that is, I'll put it on the screen too, is Aileen Travers, and she happens to be in the UK, so that'll get it sent off to her. Hope you enjoy it, Aileen. Hope you like what you're getting. A wee late Christmas present. Just gonna put that out of the way. And then I picked another one for the Podiversary, sorry, and this one is just as nice, I think. And we treat, so 3 things again. And one of my favourite dyers is Vicky of West Green Loft Yarn. Sorry about the lighting in here, but it's sunshiny outside with a black sky, so the inside lights are on. So this is West Green Loft Yarns, and it's in the colourway Curious Alice. And just show you the colours again. And it is it says Wiggly Angel, which is West Green Loft Yarn Angel. Colourway Curious Alice, 100 grams, 400 metres, cool, air dry. And this has got silk in it. It doesn't actually say on there, but if you look up her bases on her website, it's silk. It's got silk content. Lovely. You see the wee bits of gold. So it's absolutely gorgeous. And to go with that, I thought I would, this wee bag has been in my stash and I haven't used it, so I thought I would pass it on. And it's from Grianaig Creations, and she's not making these wee bags anymore. She has a podcast, and I just thought that went quite nicely with it. And then just another wee thing to put in with it is also from Jeanette, and with the with the wee gnomes on there, I thought the perfect thing, and of course the stitch markers won't go around, wee set of stitch markers, which are, never want to do this for podcasters, do they? Wee set of stitch markers of, now you can see one in a minute, there we go, toadstools, fancy toadstools. So this one, let me just fold it up so I don't wreck it, because it's got a lovely wee label. I don't want to go over the front of that. This winner, words today, is, I'm going to say Ms. Mary, MZ Mary, from the USA. I think it's actually Florida, and she was saying it's quite warm there, so maybe a nice little something in silk would be lovely if you're going into the AC, and that's just, I'll get that sent off. So one for UK and one for America. And again, thank you so much for all your support. As I say all the time, I don't take it for granted. I really am thrilled that you're here with me, and you're following along. So there you are, there's my 2 prizes, and I hope if you didn't win, you maybe, who knows, I love giving stuff away, so who knows, there might be something else in the pipeline. Okay, well, as I said, I was going to do an in-betweeny Christmas limbo week, and I was going to wrap everything up the way so many people have so eloquently done, and it just didn't happen. But I counted up, and I've done 67 items this year, from the cast on, New Year's Eve cast on, to now, or to the 31st, 67 items. And we'll just start at the beginning and go through them. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking, don't panic, don't panic. This is how I keep it. I have it in my, Ravelry, I'm an old-fashioned girl. I like to print out my patterns, I like a hard copy, and I do put stuff, if I'm doing test knits and that, I put them on Ravelry. But if you looked at Ravelry, you think I hadn't knit much, but this is what I've knit in the year. Take a wee picture of it, I put a wee bit of detail in, and so that's my 2021 book all done. And I have a new one started for 2022. Did you panic there? You thought I was going to go through 67 items? Well, the nice thing is that I started a year ago, so if you want to see what I knit in 2021, just go back and start from the beginning. You've seen everything, I think. I don't think there's too many things that you haven't seen. So, yeah, so that's it. Right, 12 minutes in, and I'm waffling already. So FOs, we'll just go do what we always do. And I have 2 very special FOs that I wanted to share with you. One I've shared with you before, and then there's a new one today. And they're my daughter's FOs. Eva is 13 and she loves to do jigsaws. And I had a jigsaw that I got on eBay quite a while ago, and she did it in the summer holidays. I'll put it up here. It's actually, I'm looking behind you. It's on the wall behind you in my wee craft room. And it was for the Love of Wool, I think it was called, and it looks like somebody's craft room. It's wool everywhere, we're in the floor, wee dog, all the rest of it, and she worked away at that. I think my son helped her for about 5 minutes and then got fed up. And then my lovely friend Sarah, hi Sarah, from my knit group, said, would you like this jigsaw? And this jigsaw is, did I put it? Of course I didn't put the name of Knit and Natter. And I'll put a picture of that up, and she's finished that in the Christmas holiday. She did that much quicker. And it was a jigsaw with all higgledy-piggledy sides and everything, and she stuck at it. And bless her, she wanted to get it finished for Christmas Day for me, but she didn't get it done. And it's framed, and it'll be going up on the wall in this wee room too. And this wee room isn't very big. What you see, often people say to me, show us a tour of your craft room. Listen, this is it. What you see here behind me is it. And behind you is a single bed. That's my wee craft room. There's some calyx boxes here. There's two abreast calyx boxes there, and that's where my yarn stays, and that's my craft room. So there'll be no craft room tour, sorry, but I'm very blessed to have it, that it's not all over the house. So anyway, that's, long story short, that's Eva's finished objects, and I am thrilled with them, and the other one will be going up on the wall when I get a big bit of string to put on the wee hooks. And I was chuffed to bits, and so was she. And she loves doing jigsaws, but she hates having to break them up, so we didn't have to break this one up. So anyway, right, well, my first FO I can't actually show you. I'm doing really well here, aren't I? My first FO was a very late start. Lovely Sophie from Botanical Yarns got in touch. You know, I've knit samples for her before, sock samples for her before, and said, listen, I'm really in need of a really quick pair of socks knitted. So I said, right, no problem, I'll do those. And they're a collaboration between herself at Botanical Yarns and Twinset and Purl for their her January sock box. And they arrived on Christmas Eve and I couldn't put them down. I can't show them, they're secret. They're coming out on the 21st of January. But let's just say I couldn't put them down. The yarn is stunning, so I don't know if she's got boxes left, but if she has, I would recommend go right ahead and get one. And so stunning that I have caked up more yarn to knit the I'll show it later, to knit a pair for myself, because I obviously had to send those ones back to her. So that's my first finished object. Promise there's a finished object. I'll show you the photograph of it whenever. Sophie takes such beautiful photographs that I let her style it. I'm really rubbish, as you will all well know, and so that's my first finished object. As I say, if you're in the market for a new kind of gift surprise sock club, that might be a good one to go for. Then my second finished object, which is hooked. There we go. You think you have these things organised and you don't. Are just a pair of vanilla socks. I definitely have my sock mojo back. Found it from somewhere. Really enjoying socks again. I really lost it last year, but I'm really enjoying them this year. And this, how could you not enjoy it when you have yarn like this? And just a vanilla sock pattern with the shadow wrap heel. I have definitely become a convert of the shadow wrap heel. I just love it, how it fits me, everything. And actually for the secret sock project, I had to do a heel flap and gusset, and I kind of had to rethink, because I've been doing these for a while now. And that gorgeous yarn, I mean, it's just beautiful. Look at that. It's Disco Goth by Needle and Thread BFL sock. Disco Goth, 425 meters and 4-ply fingering, and it's 75 blue-faced Leicester wool, 25% nylon. It says great for socks, shawls and sweaters. So there you are, Needle and Thread, and I just love them. There you go. So everything's getting thrown down into the basket. Then my third finished object, these were all shown last time, so you know I was working away on them, was test knit for the Woolly Badger, and it's called the Big Jimmy Jab Jumper. I thought it was quite apt with the way the world is at the moment and the things we're being encouraged to do. And this is the picture on it. This obviously won't be the final picture on the final pattern, but that's what was sent to us. And for some reason I thought it was short sleeve. I don't know why, but I'll tell you what I used. I used Fab DK, Patons Fab DK. Let me take this off and I'll show you. So I used Patons, or Patons, never know, Fab DK in the colourway 2324, and that's this. I used just over 50 grams. And then for the main body, I used Stylecraft Special DK. In the colourway Midnight. And I only used 3 balls of that for my size, which is pretty good. And actually, I did a size too big, I think. I got a bit overexcited about it. And I think I could have gone down a size, put it that way. And the yoke is a wee bit big on me, but it'll not go to waste. So that's why I'm not wearing it today. And also the thermostat's a wee bit all over the place today. So so this is the big Jimmy Jab. I just love it. Really love it. And I just finished the sleeves. I messaged her and said, messaged Jackie, who's the Woolly Badger, and said, could I do short sleeves? Because I wear short sleeve tops a lot more. And because it was DK as well, it was a wee bit warm. And I just finished it with the bright. Hold it back. I think that's it. There, can you see? Just gorgeous. And then there's a high, well, you have the option of a normal hem or a high-low hem, and I did a high-low hem. And again, just finished it off with a wee bit of rainbow. See me coming anyway. And this is just gorgeous mosaic slip stitches. And I think it's just so effective, just on a round neck. And it's beautiful. I'd be very, very tempted to knit a smaller size. I mean, it's totally wearable, but yeah, it's just gathers a wee bit, and it's not, it's my own, I got so excited about it that I read, I didn't read the finished sizing, I read the size. A lot of patterns do your bust, the actual bust size, and then your the positive ease, and of course I read the actual bust size, so it's my fault entirely. But beautiful knit, nothing wrong with the pattern, very little had to be corrected, and I would really recommend it. Now she wrote the pattern for two, so C1 and C2, but I just used the one ball because it was so stripy variegated. So I didn't alternate this. So it would be absolutely perfect for, so it is DK, but it'd be absolutely perfect for any random wee minis that you've got hanging around, maybe 320 gram minis or something, or scraps or whatever, and you can just basically do whatever you want. And I'll definitely be wearing it, but it's just, it's a wee bit sort of, when you're wearing a dress it comes down to here, so I think a pair of trousers and or a skirt and this would be perfect. I really, really enjoyed knitting it. So that's the Jimmy Jab sweater. I'm not sure when it's due out because the end of the test knit isn't till the end of this month. So, but with it being DK, it knit up so quickly it wasn't a problem. So that's my finished objects, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's 100% acrylic. I just thought it'd be nice to have a sweater you don't have to hand wash or worry about putting in the wool wash or having to use any special washing powder for or anything. And yeah, I tend to not like knitting with acrylic, not because of any issue about it, but some acrylics are just so squeaky and you nearly have sweaty hands. But that was really lovely to work with. I would definitely work with it. I had that in stash. I didn't have to, actually bought it for a blanket, and which I've never got around to doing. And it's been in a tub under the bed for a long time, so I was able to use up some of that stash. And I initially bought this to make hats last year. I made some kids hats out of other balls of that, and that was what I had left. So using up stash well. So that's my 3 finished objects. Now I've put a title here of Active WIPS. And the Active WIPS, several of you have seen before, so I'm not going to go into them in great detail because you'd be bored stiff, and if there's anything you need to ask, I'll put it in the show notes, all the yarns and everything. But the first one is in my beautiful Socan Joe bag, big sweater bag, is the Fairy Ring Cardigan by Katie Green Bean, and her lovely pattern with her beautiful artwork. Katie actually just lives down the road from me, not that I've ever met her, but some of the pictures she puts on Instagram, I would go, yeah, we can see that. So she has the adult on the front and the children's on the back. And finally I've stopped opening it at the wrong side because I just leave it open. I've bent it back. So last time you'd seen I'd finished the colour work. So there's the colour work. And now I have two sleeves, 2 sleeveys. I will actually put a wee picture up here because on her pattern she's got like a wee fleck. She calls it a lice stitch going through the arms and the body, but I decided not to do that. A, because I wanted to save yarn. Believe it or not, I had the grey that it would be the grey, and the grey that I didn't want to break into another skein. And I have enough for a sweater if I don't. That's my logic. And the person, this isn't for me, the person I'm doing this for, I don't think would cope with a double knit, because it would be, you'd have floats the whole way through it. And also every time I say the lice stitch, I itch. So that was my other reasoning behind it. And so I've finished the sleeve, 2 sleeves. I always do that when it's kind of a thicker yarn, because then you're not lifting the heavy body and having to turn it all the time. So you can see it's a steeked cardigan. You can see the steek there, and for the bit that doesn't have the lace stitch, I've just done a purl stitch to make it easier to turn it back. I've done very rough steeks in my past, but not something that needs to be nice and neat. So this will be interesting. I'd like to think I would get well down the body before the next podcast. And my lovely friends Hannah and Sarah from my knit group have said they'll kind of give me moral support on steeking and reinforcing and all the rest of it. So it's been, well, the designer said on a online thing that I watched that this is not for the faint-hearted, and certainly doing what should have been three-stranded colour work, and this red, I doubled it. It was a 4-ply and I doubled it, and so that was 4-strand. It was definitely a new and steep learning curve, but I really learned a lot. I definitely want to do more colour work this year, and I really, yeah, it was interesting, shall we say. I do worry a bit that it's too big, but even if person just wears it around the house, sure, it doesn't matter. It's so I'm well on the way with the body, and hopefully that'll be chugging along. And that's the Fairy Ring cardigan by Katie Greenbean of the Green Bean podcast. So that's one whip, which is active. Then my next whip, sorry, scratching my nose again. My next whip is in my beautiful Mozambique bag. My lovely friends brought me home. And it is the Pressed Flower Shawl. Haven't done a whole load, but I've done a lot more than... I'll put a picture up there again because the picture on the pattern is really rubbish. It's not really bad. And I had just done a wee triangle last time, but it's funny, I really struggled to get this started. The first bit of it is written, and then it goes into the chart, and I couldn't work my head around it. But now it is flying through. It's so intuitive. I just overthink it. I just overthought it a wee bit, I think, and now it's just a pleasure to knit. And this is what I've done. So you can clearly see the flowers. Which way? Yeah, it is that way. You can clearly see the flowers starting, can't you? And I love the colourway. Absolutely love the colourway. It's like a teal and a lovely limey green. And I'm doing that in Witchcrafty Lady, Pole Deal DK, but I talked about it in length on my last podcast. You can see the two colours there. And it's just, because it's slip stitches, so it's like a double thickness, and it's just so cozy, and it's going to be so gorgeous. And I'm just working away at that. I've done, I suppose, 3 more rounds of it. I think I have 2 more rounds of this to do before I go into a slightly different pattern. So that's the Pressed Flower Shawl. I knew it had to be doable because so many people had done it on Ravelry, and there's a beautiful lady on Ravelry who went to the bother. There's no stitch counts in the pattern, and she went to the bother of working out the stitch counts, which was really helpful. But now I hardly even need the chart. Can't believe that when I stress so much about getting it started. But as I say, overthinking a pattern is what I do quite regularly. Then, as I said, my sock mojo has returned. And so I went into my whip bin, and if I can find it, here we go. I went into my whip bin, and for those who aren't maybe aware, whip is work in progress, and I have one of these here in just at the door, and that's where I keep my whips. And because I had lost my sock mojo, this sock was cast on in August, and I had one done, you know, and it is the Kelpie Socks by Olivia Villarreal. I hope you can see that. It's a beautiful pattern. Why I didn't just finish it. I have one done. On the back. Should have put this in a sock blocker. Don't even know where I've put my sock blockers. And I finally got started. Now it's only a wee bit, but at least I started. Finally got the cuff cast on and the first mock cable done. And so those are my next sock to get done. And I'm doing that in lovely, this beautiful yarn from Castleview Crafts or Castleview Yarns. Which one is it? Castleview Yarns. I've had this quite a while, and it's in her colorway Fear of the Dark. And it is superwash merino nylon, 425 grams. So and again, this one has a heel flap and gusset, so I need to get my head around doing that again. And I suppose it couldn't really do any other heel because it goes right into the, you know, almost seamlessly right up into the back of the work. So you wouldn't want to do any other heel for that. So that's my sock whip. I have one always in my handbag, just a vanilla sock. There's one in my handbag, but I haven't been anywhere to knit that. I'm hoping knit grip might happen tomorrow, all the COVID regulations willing. Per Hannah, of, you know, my friend Hannah, I talk about all the time, of Hannah's Happy Space, got COVID, but she didn't get very sick, but she got it just in time for Christmas. So she's been in isolation, but she's well out of it now. Then, what's next? Sorry, this makes my nose so itchy. That's the Kelpie Socks. Then, lovely Shannon of Blue Fern Yarns, who I've knit with before, you've heard me talk about before, got in contact with me to see if I would do a sample knit for her of a shawl, and I'll put the shawl picture up, and can I remember what one it is? Oh, Juniper Shawl by Libby Johnson, and she's also known as Trudy Myrtle, and that's going to be done in Shannon's yarns, but they haven't arrived yet, obviously, with the bank holidays and post office closures and things in the UK. It hasn't got here yet, so that'll be cast on as soon as that's here. So fairy ring, pressed flowers, that sock, which shouldn't take too long, and then the Juniper Shawl. That's all right, isn't it? My hashtag, as you all well know, is It's My Knitting. I'll cast on if I want to, and I encourage you to take that this year. If you're being awful good and you're being very mindful, I salute you, I take my hat off to you, but I just love having the options. I love having being able to just go in and decide one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that. If you're a monogamous knitter, I am very impressed, and I sometimes can be. When I get this shawl of Hannah's, I'll probably knit it till I get it done. But whatever makes you happy, it's a craft. Unless it's your business, then that's different, but it should be something you enjoy, and if you get stressed over it, put it down, forget about it, put it in the naughty corner and pick up something else, and don't ever let your craft take over and make you miserable. And that's why I just like having things on the needles and things to be picking and choosing from. I do have one, I called it in my notes, Wah Wah Cast On. Of course there's a story behind it. I was at my knit group in the Woolly Beater in Oakhampton. I mention that shop all the time too, it's great. It's a lovely community of ladies, and I would be lost without them. And I was in, and Laura, the owner, asked me to look at this sock that was in my size but for someone else, and she wasn't just sure how long to keep knitting it before the toe. And I said, oh Laura, those are gorgeous, lovely cables, and I love a cable. I said, those are really gorgeous, what's that pattern? And she said to me, oh, it's a free pattern, I'll get you it. And so she brought up this pattern. Let me get a picture of it. So you'll probably, many of you have seen this because it was a free West Yorkshire Spinners pattern that went with their Christmas colourway. I'll show you it one more time. And I said, are you serious? Do you see the cables? I don't either. But I trusted her, and I got the pattern and I started knitting. And okay, this is what the pattern is. Absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, I'm going to block my face. I would never have started this pattern, never. It is called the Twinkle Toe. It's Twinkle Toes. That's what the yarn was called. I'm sure some of you even bought it. Maybe some of you have knitted this pattern, and it's a twisted rib knitted sock. Right, okay. Still, to me, twisted rib is just would just be going, it's not this. Put it that way. I love it. I just think it's a mock cable, no cable needed, and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. But there's no, I was knitting away on it, no problem, and I think I will do, I think I'll have to do the heel flap and gusset with this as well, because it'll probably run up with these rib bits here. Absolutely fine. And I thought, oh my goodness, this yarn is really hard on my hands, and as you all know, I'm a great proponent for woolly knit yarn, always have been. And they did a deal on 2 cones of sock yarn, I think, for £6, and it's 200 grams. Look at that beautiful colour. It's even, it's coming up lighter than it is. And I bought 2 cones, yarn to cone, and I've used their merino, I've used their other stuff many times. And this, honestly, I don't like to criticise, but this was like knitting with thick sewing thread. It's horrible. And I stopped knitting. And I actually even went and did a swatch and blocked it to see if it would soften, and it hasn't. It really hasn't. I don't like to criticise, but I did see on Instagram somebody else commenting on it, so I don't feel so bad. So I'm going to rip that out, because I wouldn't wear them, and use a different yarn. And I really want this pattern because it's so nice, and it's easy to knit once you get started. But that's still rough for me. I couldn't wear that on my feet, so I'll repurpose it for something else. But instead, I'm going to use a yarn. Sorry, crinkling. I had it in a plastic bag. I'm going to use yarn from my stash. Oops. And it's a merino yak from Regia. And it is 58 wool, 20% polyamide, and 14 yak, and that'll be pleasure to knit with and lovely to wear. Just grey, not my usual, but just grey. I really wanted to showcase the lovely pattern. So never in a million years would you have thought that pattern would do something as beautiful as this. So you wouldn't. But as I say, I couldn't wear that. So that'll get cast on. Maybe not. Need to give myself a wee downtime from that, because it was annoying me so much. And that's in my lovely bag that Hannah, my beautiful friend Hannah, made me. Ruth loves to knit. And I'll come back to that, because I don't think I want to start that again straight away after the trauma. And then how are we doing for time? I wonder. I was going to just look at my Languishing WIPS a wee minute. I only have 3. Actually, I was quite surprised at that. I only have 3, and I'll just do them quickly. Okay. So my first one, you've seen these, is the Giselle Shawl by Cami Jo Knits. So it is sock and stitch on the back, and then a lace thing on the front. And if you've watched this for any length of time at all, you know I'm not a mohair fan, and I thought this would be a great idea. Mohair I'm using is beautiful, not scratchy, so soft, but I'm not in the head, was not in the head space for it. So I finished the whole back part of it. That's in Love hand dyed. That's obviously back to front with the Love hand dyed, and the whole way. And then I've started the lace front. But it wasn't a complicated chart, but it wasn't all charted. You had to use a wee bit of brain power, and my brain using mohair, and see you're decreasing as well. My brain in using the mohair just wasn't working. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be the same as the struggle I had with the pressed flower shawl, and it'll just click and I'll be able to do it. But that's still in a wee bit of time out. I definitely want to finish it because I've knit so much of it. And that's Love hand dyed is the grey, and that's 50 Shades of Black. Yeah, 50 Shades of Black is the colour. We're just trying to get a ball of this mohair out. And I got this mohair in the woolly beater, and it's Katia. Can you see the name on it? Yeah, Concept by Katia. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Matches beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So I do really want the finished product, but we'll just have to see how it goes. And this is in a lovely bag by Bird Street yarn that I got a long time ago. It was Bird Street UK still then, so it is quite a while ago. So we'll have to think about that one, whether we're going to continue with that or not. Don't want to go on too much further and try to rip out all that mohair. But we'll have a wee think about that, and that's just going to go back in the WIP bin for now. Then the Nordbakkan cardigan, which was put on the back burner in the summertime because it was such woolly wool, and then the fairy ring cardigan came along and blah 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 blah. And you've seen this before too, and I've made a boob on this, so that needs to be fixed. And this is the Nordbakkan cardigan by Skeindeer Knits. It's another steeked. You can see the steek there. And it looks beautiful, and all the rest of it. I've done a bit of the body, but what on earth is going on with these sleeves? I think I've forgotten to decrease or something. I mean, look, I can put my head in it. I'll not, don't panic. Ridiculous. So I've obviously forgotten to do decreases, or I don't know what it's. So that I'll rip that back to the armhole and start again. I mean, look. It's just, I mean, I have a chunky monkey arm, but that even is ridiculous for me. Look, I've definitely forgot to do the decreases. So this will get done. Again, this is just knitting round and round, so this will be great for Zoom meetings and different things. And it's lovely, and it's in Finull PT2. Let's see if I can get a. 497, lovely burgundy wine colorway, and yeah, that's another one. So it'll be a bit boring to show you if I keep showing you over and over again, but that's definitely going to get done. I just pick that up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, and I need to sort out those sleeves. Dear me, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe just I'll knit round and round and round, and then I must have just got carried away watching a podcast or something. And that's in a lovely bag, Mrs. Brown's bag, that my lovely friend in Canada sent me a few years ago, which is brilliant for a sweater project. So I love a bag with anything, with, you know, knitting or sheep or anything like that. And then the last thing is the last WIP. Now probably I would have had more WIPs if I hadn't done that segment. Oh, I don't know, way last year on Rip the WIP, which maybe traumatized some of you. And this one is another Isabel Kramer. You know, I love Isabel, and it's her. Hang on, a girl's best friend. And it's for 3 fingering weight yarns. And I don't know when I started this, but I've started the first bit of it. Minty, it's not coming out the way it's coming out grey. That's maybe it there. Gorgeous. And to show you, that's my wee progress kit. My lovely girl I used to work with, Michelle. Hi Michelle. Made me these gorgeous handmade progress keepers. I absolutely love them. And it goes beautifully with the mint, of course. And this is West Greenloft yarns. I love Vicky's yarn. It's not always I'm not really a super pink person, but for some reason her yarn just is I just love it. And there was a sale on, 20% off sale. I don't know if it's still going on her website. But I think actually I bought 2 of these from her website when she had a sale, and 1 off a Destash. So that green is Lulu. So there's her tag again. And this one is Lulu. And my ball winder had a hissy fit and decided not to play ball, so I had to literally ball it up. You see the beautiful colours there. So that's the one I've just started with. I don't know whether my ball winder's days are numbered or what. And then the second one is Pecan. It's pretty good. And that's the kind of, that is C1, and then C2 is Kindred Spirits, and that's that one there. But I think it's going to be beautiful if I just get down to knitting it. But again, it's one of these things you can just pick up and leave down and do to your, when you fancy it. And put that back with, just find a stray pattern. And so that's the, I'm going to show that again. That's the girl's best friend. And I'm not a pom-pom or a embellishment person, so I'll not be doing the pom-poms. And actually I wouldn't have enough yarn of that colour to do the pom-poms, so that works out well. And that's in my bag that you have seen 100 million times from So Yarnalicious. That's my absolute, by far, favourite bag, and I use it all the time. And that's my WIPs. I don't think that's too bad, considering I am a, you know, cast your honour prolific knitter. I'm quite pleased with that. Some of you might be going, what? So active WIPs, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 4. I have 4 active WIPs, and then the one I'm ripping out, and the socks I'm ripping out, and then 3 languishing ones. I think that's all right compared to. I was watching Martin of Knit 365. He's got 17 or something, so I don't feel too bad about that. Oh, I was going to show you the yarn I've balled up for to re-knit the socks that I knit for Botanical yarns. Oh, something's gone astray here. And it's also a West Green Loft yarn. It's just, I got this in a Destash and I used it in one of my shawls that I knit this year, and this is what was left. So that's what I'm going to knit my socks. It's beautiful. And it just says on the label, April Yarn Club. I got 2 of these off a Destash and I've 73 grams left, so that's more than enough. And it's in a wee bag that was gifted to me this Christmas by the lovely Ez of So Yarnalicious, and I just love it. Look at those ladies, aren't that brilliant? So thank you so much, that was awful generous of you. I think that's all the knitty stuff. I just want to mention, and I want to have a sip of water. I hope everybody's surviving, and I hope you'll turn this off and on and not watch it all together. I want to mention one podcast very quickly, and that is my lovely friend Dawn of the Dawn's Days. She does a vlog. She lives in the Netherlands. She's from Manchester, and she does a vlog every Sunday of her life in the Netherlands. But she has, and in part of that, she used to do maybe monthly a crafty podcast. She crafts everything, and she has decided to split that up, and now she's got her Dawn's Days vlogs, which you can watch on Sundays, but she's also got a new one which is called the Woven Almanac. I think that's a brilliant name, and I say she does all crafts, and she's got a doll's house, and she's got, and if you like a chatty podcast, that might be the one for you. So that's Dawn, and her new podcast is the Woven well, I don't know if it's the Woven Almanac, but Woven Almanac. So yeah, so that's just a wee recommendation for you there. Now I put a poll up on Instagram to see if people like to see incoming yarny goodies, and I love it myself, but I don't want to push things on people, and I don't show these things to go look at me or how fantastic am I or anything. I am beyond blessed with what I have in my yarny stash, and I was beyond blessed for Christmas too. The only upside of seeing nobody for Christmas was that friends and family sent vouchers for presents, money for presents, and even my husband got it right this year. Can you believe that? So I want to just show you a little picking of what I got very quickly. And well, the first thing I want to show, well, it's all going to go, so I'll show you. Now, my husband is notoriously bad at buying presents, and he'll admit that himself, and he gets stressed out by it too. So this year we'd said, like, let's not buy presents. It's been an odd year. You know, we have a joint bank account. What's the point in buying presents for each other? But I sent him a wee link just in case, you know. Ladies, if your husband is no good at buying you presents, links, send them links. I even sent a photograph of the link, and he did good. He did good, and he was even more happy because there was a discount code as well. And to add to my massive stash of West Green Loft yarns, he got me 2 skeins of Vicky's beautiful yarn. Oh, I just love it. It is Bella. She had several Bellas, but this is Bella Dark. No idea what I'm going to do with it. I just love it. I actually think I have this colour, so this might be a 3 skein shawl or something like that. But I absolutely love it, and he did good. He was all pleased, all chuffed with himself, he even wrapped it. And it came in this beautiful wee bag. And then, if you've been watching, you'll know I've taken a real notion to do Marie Wallen. And it's maybe well beyond my capabilities, I don't know. And to be honest, some of the books are just beautiful to look at, even if I never knit anything. And he got wind of it, and he got me this book here, Cherish. Look at that. I just don't know if... Maybe I should just face my fears this year. I definitely want to do more colour work, so maybe I should just face my fears. So he did so well, considering I could tell you a few stories of things he's bought me over the years, but we'll leave that for another time. Then my other, another lovely friend, Nikki, sent me a big box of goodies, which you'll see as I use them up. But I wanted just to show you one wee thing out of her box, and look at this. How cool is this? Ruth's knitting bag. Isn't that brilliant? Nobody will dispute that that's mine. I was chuffed to bits with that. Thank you so much, Nikki. And as I say, she sent me other goodies in the box as well, but as I knit with them and use them, I'll let you see those. Then my lovely friend Karen of the Stitches and Jacks podcast surprised quite a few of us with a box of goodies with stuff for the kids and chocolate and things, which have long gone, but I wanted to show you this. As you know, if you've watched this podcast at all, yellow is my favourite colour, although I'm getting a bit lax on the yellow things. I think I need to up my game a wee bit. And she sent me this. Now, it's more gold than that. It's much more goldy, sunflowery. And this is a 100% grade mulberry silk. And it's called You Are My Sunshine. Oh, Karen, thank you. And it's from Bow Fiddle Yarns. Oh, this has to be something special. Oh my goodness. The shine off it even. It is stunning, and I was not expecting that box, and I thank you so much, Karen. What a treat that was. And then the last Christmas present I want to show you is this beautiful bag. Oops. From my lovely friend Hannah. If you were a drinker, you could be drunk by now every time I mention Hannah's name, isn't it? I want to show you the card she gave me. Look at the card. Free motion sewing. Look. Happy Knitmas. Isn't that just gorgeous? I'll not show you what's inside. And then she is a dyer. Not full time, but it says dyed just for you. Look at this. This lighting, I really apologise. And she got me bang on. Look at those colours. And this one is Ocean Deep, and this one is Goldilocks, and I'm going to use those together. They're not coming up true colours there at all. But that is her yarn dyeing, and look, I mean, matchy matchy, I love it, I love it. And then she also gave me a wee, sorry for the crinkling, a wee universe pin, which I put up in my pin board behind. Thank you very, very much. I say that's not even all I got. My brother was very good to me, and I went a bit mad in the Sakami yarn sale. They had all of their hand-dyed skeins down to £12, and I spent the money that I was given this year. My mum gave me money, my mum and dad gave me money, and I decided I was just going to spend it before it went on the groceries or whatever, and I treated myself, and I'm really, really going to try. You heard it here last year too, I know, to not buy, to use from my stash. I have plenty that I can be using from my stash. I have a massive stash, blessed beyond belief, and I'm really going to try this year to use my stash. The very last thing I want to show you is this box that came from, I did the winter sock swap with Libby, and my lovely swap partner sent me a gorgeous box with beautiful, seems funny to see this after Christmas. She knows, big bag of coffee. Haven't used any of this stuff. Some lovely tea bags. Love herbal tea. And then, sorry, this was so beautifully wrapped. There's the little label that came with it. I have eyed this for a long time and can't believe I actually own some of it. and this was from my sock swap, and I love it. And this is from Wool Matters Fibre Company. It's all botanically dyed and quite rustic, but not hard rustic, if you know what I mean. I could wear this on my feet, no problem, but it's not even coming up as beautiful as it is. I absolutely love it. And I say I've looked at this and it's been a wee bit pricey, and I feel beyond blessed to have got this in a sock swap. Thank you so much. And chuffed to bits, and that came literally I think Christmas Eve maybe, and I've been holding on to it, so I'll be able to use it now. So I hope that wasn't too overwhelming of incoming goodies. As I say, you'll see everything being knit up through the year, and I am so proud of my hubby for doing so well. I brought him very practical gifts and he brought me those lovely treats. Yeah, so that's us. That's all the stuff. I've flown through it as I always do. If you have any questions, please just put a wee message down below. I didn't answer any of the messages on my last podcast, so it wouldn't muck up the selecting thing for the prizes. But I will go back. There's a few questions and I will go back and answer those. One of them was about how I knit. I don't knit. You probably hate the way I knit. I know when my mum watches me knit and she twitches because I'm a thrower and I lift my hand off every single time to throw. But maybe go more into that at another time. And if you do have any questions about anything, feel free to ask them in the in the comments below, or in the DMs, or email me, and I will really try my best to get back to you. I'm not a professional knitter, but I do love it, and I have a bit of experience, and I hopefully would be able to help you with a one or two bits and pieces. Well, that's it. Nearly an hour. Oh my goodness. As you know, if you've been with me before, I always finish my podcast with a wee bit of something from God's Word. I'm a Christian and I want to share the good news, but I know that's not for everybody. I'm absolutely aware of that. If you've stuck with me this far, you deserve a medal. If you don't want to stay, that's fine, I understand. But if you do want to stay, I have a wee nugget to share with you. If you're heading on, I hope you'll have a very good few weeks till I see you again. Thanks again for tuning in. I just appreciate it so much. Leave me a comment if you want to. I don't often say this, but like and subscribe if you want to. And I really appreciate you popping in today. See you later. Bye. If you're staying with me, I will try and be quick. At this time of year, we often think of new beginnings, don't we? And we often think of resolutions and all that. Well, I don't do those, as you can imagine. I mean, if you've seen some of my videos and the things I've said I'm going to do and they don't do, but some other people forget about resolutions as well, and they pick a word for the year. And have you chosen your word for the year? I, again, don't really do that either. I just chug along, and I was joking with somebody the other day. I was going to have 2 words and mine was going to be winging it. But many people pick a word instead of a hard, fast resolution, because let's face it, an awful lot of people have already given up on the resolution by about the 2nd week in January. And it's a more gentle, sort of constant reminder or a goal to attain to, rather than a fixed, rigid rule that you've set for yourself. Maybe just something to guide you in the coming year. And I just want to share a word with you today. It's not my word. It's not the word I've chosen or been given to me, but the word is peace. And in this world we live in, we don't experience much peace. What a 2 years we've had all over the world, all countries. And these past 2 years have been anything but peaceful. But I'm not talking about the dictionary definition of peace, and that's, you know, the absence of conflict or a feeling of stillness. I'm talking about biblical peace. And it means completeness and wholeness. And so many of us are constantly striving for that feeling of being complete or being whole, from things, from others, from experiences, from all sorts of things that are pushed on us for this, especially at this time of year. You know, if you read the Old Testament in the Bible, it's anything but peaceful. It's wars and fights and all the rest of it. But even in that part of the Bible, peace is talked about 237 times, and in the Old Testament 329 times. There you go. Every day's a school day, isn't it? Many of you know the Hebrew word shalom, which would be from the Old Testament, and in the New Testament the Greek word for peace is, if I get this right, is eirene. Eirene, which means unity. I don't think you would come to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast for Hebrew and Greek, but there you go. So to reconcile after a fight with someone would be to make irony. And so biblical peace is not like worldly peace and an absence of conflict. It is taking action to restore something that's seemingly broken. It isn't just a state of inner tranquility, but a wholeness and a completeness. And we can't create this on our own. God is the source of our peace. One of his names is Yahweh Shalom, and that is the Lord is peace. Jesus is our peace with God. He died on the cross for us so that we could be saved. And in Romans 5 verse 1 it says, "Therefore, since we have been made right in God's sight by faith, we have peace with God because of what Jesus Christ our Lord has done for us." We have peace with others, only we cannot have peace with others often in our own strength. It's only in God giving us help and giving us the strength to deal with people who've maybe wronged us. And in John 16:33 it says, "I have told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world." Give it to him, folks. Give those things to him. Those things that are causing you such anguish, such anxiety, give it to him. And peace with ourselves. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17 it says, "This means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone and new life has begun." We can ask God to direct and guide us in every situation if you focus your eyes on him. If you focus your life and your eyes on him, he will keep you on the straight path. So as we look into another very uncertain year ahead, I pray that you will know peace in the biblical sense. If you don't already know Christ as your Saviour, maybe 2022 will be the year you will finally discover what it is to have true peace. And if you do know Christ as your living Saviour and living in your life, I pray for a renewed sense of his presence day by day as you face whatever the year ahead has for you. And I pray that for myself too. And finally, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 16 it says, "Now may the Lord of peace himself give you his peace at all times and in every situation. The Lord be with you all." I just want to leave that little thought with you today. Peace. Even the word peace. And this isn't a very peaceful podcast. It's a ramble, it's rushed, it's all over the place, but I hope you've just been able to just take time and just think about this heavenly peace that we can have in this chaotic world we live in that only God can give us. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being with me. I hope you have a good couple of weeks till I see you again. Stay safe. Wear that mask, wash your hands, and whatever you do, just keep on knitting. Okay, God bless. Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.